Good evening to you. Welcome to Hot Edition Radio on 3FM 92.7. We come to you live from our studios here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra and our numerous affiliates across the country. We're also live on all our social media platforms on Facebook and on X. It's 3FM Ghana. Coming up this evening, Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited SML appeal to petition President Mahama to rescind decision to terminate the company's contract with the Ghana Revenue Authority. Also this evening, residents of Hwidiem flee the community over fear of military reprisal after earlier clash with NAIMOS operatives, and later scrap dealers clash with national security operatives over attempted removal of railway lines at the Takoradi Port. We have details of these and many more stories coming up in the next 1 hour. Do stick and stay with us. My name is Judith Brown. I'll be doing this with Martin Asiedu Date. But first, let's start with the summary. A new summary, and Nurah Mohammed is with us. She's joining us and bringing us all that. Nurah, go ahead.
Judith, my name is Nurah Mohammed. Good evening. First in the summaries, we have the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has condemned the recent attack on officials of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and their accompanying media personnel by a group of illegal miners at Dadreni, a community near Obuasi in the Ashanti region. Reports indicate that a convoy of the EPA team was initially attacked by the illegal miners. The severity of the attack reportedly forced the EPA team and their accompanying media personnel to retreat. Away from that, the management of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, has stated that they are still looking for the strategic investors for 3 of their hotels, La Palme, Elmina Beach Resort, and Buzia Beach Resort. The Director General of SNIT, Kwesi Afre-Baini, said this when he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee PAC on Friday, November 7. Meanwhile, the lawyer for Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML, Cephas Boyo, has rejected the Office of the Special Prosecutor's allegations that the company's founder, Evans Adusei, was used as a proxy for political patronage or illicit enrichment. Speaking to the press in defense of his client, Buyo said that the OSP's assertions were baseless and unfair, stressing that Edusei is a self-made businessman with a long-standing track record across multiple industries. Also, lawyer for Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML, Cephas Boyo, has dismissed claims by the Office of the Special Prosecutor that 125 million Ghana cedis is to be recovered from the company, describing the allegation as baseless and unsupported by evidence. The OSP's assertion that 125 million Ghana cedis is to be recovered by the state from SML has no factual and evidentiary basis. It is mere conjecture and only whips up unnecessary sentiments, Buyu said. And that will be all for the summaries.
Thank you very much, Nurah Mohammed, bringing us the new summary for today. We're going to start with the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited because it has appealed to government to rescind its decision to terminate the company's contract with the Ghana Revenue Authority. The termination followed investigations by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, which concluded that there was no justification for the contract and that its scope and financial terms were unnecessary and potentially wasteful. But SML disagrees. A member of the company's legal team, Cephas Boyo, insists the contract was beneficial to the state and has accused the OSP of spreading falsehood aimed at tarnishing the company's image. He disclosed that SML has today submitted a formal written response to the president urging him to reconsider the termination decision. The company was engaged by the Ghana Revenue Authority in a revenue assurance role within the downstream and upstream petroleum as well as the minerals and metal sectors. Let's take a listen now to the company's lawyer speaking at a media briefing held earlier today.
Especially by the OSP, and an agenda set by the OSP to use the media to run down SML. The reason we have called for this presser. Now, earlier this afternoon, we delivered a comprehensive response to the President of the Republic of Ghana on his directive for the contract between Ministry of Finance, GRA, and SML to be terminated, which hinged largely on the report of the OSP. In the letter submitted to the President and also to the Attorney General, we provided documentary evidence to each and every paragraph and elaborated on the true and accurate picture of the GRA Ministry of Finance SML contract. We are confident that a review of the documents presented to the President and the AG would help them appreciate the matters and form a fair and independent opinion on the termination directive. Our goal today with you, the press, is not rhetoric, but also to provide clarity and evidence. Please note that we are here to provide you with evidence. Given the extreme, deliberate misinformation in the guise of investigation, and then also distortion and political coloration by the OSP of the facts concerning SML's operations, ownership, and institutional collaborations. We also seek to set the record straight based on official documentation from the Ghana Revenue Authority, the National Petroleum Authority, the Ghana Standards Authority, the Ministry of Finance itself, and other statutory institutions. Now, you see, the OSP is a fact-finding institution. Its mandate, we all know, is to investigate alleged corruption and corruption-related matters, and to present its findings and evidence before a court of competent jurisdiction for adjudication. That's simply what it is. So you cannot turn yourself into a judge, and that's exactly what OSP has done. And within its remit, it has sought to denounce individuals and, made it look like wrongdoing has happened even before it heads to court. That is what we are seeking to correct.
Well, we're going to stay on this particular subject on the Strategic Mobilization Limited because he further justified the contract between SML and the Ghana government, describing it as both lawful and value-driven.
This is as recent as 14th of October. And this is a letter that immediately OSP saw, quickly went and arrested the lawyer that signed it. Look at that lawyer. Do you know how many years he is at the bar? Do you think he will just write anything like that? And you think the lawyer will just write something without fact-checking or even asking questions from the powers that be within the GRA setup? Why are we doing this to our institutions? So please, we are giving you all these documents. Then you see that it's clearly stated in there that SML worked, and their contracts, all the performance that they presented, the performance reports that they presented were validated, were verified, and they were paid. Moreover, SML's audit reports detected under declarations, misclassifications, and bonded warehouse leakages, leading to official post-entry adjustment and recovery actions by the GRA. Please, can I have the Auditor General's report? I mean, if you claim that, SML has let me just put it mildly, that SML has bought everybody as GRA. I mean, quote and unquote. How about the Auditor General? How about the Auditor General? Look at the letter. Auditor General's report, dated the 5th of November, 2020. This is and you conduct investigations and you leave out critical information like this because it will not go in a favor. Because it will go in a favor of SML. Please, we are providing you all these documents. Have an independent assessment of them and tell for yourself whether SML worked or not. And whether the payments given to SML are justifiable or not. In summary, the GRA and not SML retains the cost. They retain the. They are the custodians of the verified evidence of performance, and their letters affirm that SML delivered value, compliance, and measurable fiscal impact. The person benefiting from the services of SML is telling you that yes, I've benefited. Then you say no, SML has not done anything. Please read the reports for yourselves. Read the letters for yourselves. And tell the Ghanaian people whether SML has worked or not. Ladies and gentlemen, the OSPs claim that petroleum revenue gains since 2020 resulted from natural consumption increases is a fundamental misrepresentation. Before SML, Ghana lost 3.2 billion liters to leakages and under declarations within just 16 months for petrol, diesel, and LPG. When SML was deployed in May 2020, the gap reduced to 260 million liters. And guess what? And this was sustained for over 4.5 years. Data from MPA, and believe me, and look at this, it's not just MPU. The Bank of Ghana confirms this assertion. The Bank of Ghana. And somebody says nothing was done. Really? I mean, why are we doing this to our state institutions? This very same state institution is telling you that no, the people have worked. Now, SML closing loopholes. No, let me take that sentence again, please. The data from MPA and Bank of Ghana confirms that this was SML's.
Looking to level up your life and business?
Oh, you had the company's lawyer, that Strategic Mobilization Limited, speaking in a media briefing earlier today. Now, let's speak to a legal practitioner and anti-graft campaigner, Martin Pebo, on this particular issue. Good evening, sir. Now, SML insists that the contract was beneficial to the state, and they are urging the president to reconsider the termination. Now, from your legal perspective, what do you find most problematic about this contract?
Okay, yeah, so the thing is that the equipment SML had, even number one, the starting point is that SML did not go through the right window. Both KPMG and the OSP office investigation show that SML was smuggled in. They didn't go through the right PPA approvals, no. They arm-twisted West Blue, okay, to put SML on West Blue's lap. So then West Blue carried SML for a while. And even eventually when West Blue was kicked out and SML had to take over, SML couldn't deliver. The report says so. Please, look at paragraph 215 of the report, 213, 212, etc. You see that SML had no modern equipment to deliver such a job. I mean, it's a shame. It's what the lawyer is doing is surprising, because question is that what he has to address is that, I don't know, maybe I didn't hear the whole report, the press conference, but ask him, the video, the Manasseh video, what does the lawyer say about Christian Soti, MD? When he was asked, SML saved Ghana about 3 billion cedis. That's headline, Daily Graphic, front page. Christian Soti said, no, I don't know anything about it. MDO, the MD of the company says he doesn't know anything about SML saving Ghana 3 billion. So what is the lawyer saying? What is he saying? He and I, were we there? The man who was there, you remember Baumia in the presidential petition here in 2012, right? He and I, the lawyer and I were in there. The man who was in the saddle as managing director, Christian Soti, you would hear, well, not just hear him, you will see him. And you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Manasseh asked him, Mr. Soti, what is this publication in the Daily Graphic that you've saved us 3 billion? He says, no, I don't know anything about it. Gani. Let me put the Ghanaian pidgin word because we are communicating and we need effective communication.
Right.
If you watch a video, Gani, you see Christian Soti saying that he doesn't know anything about those savings. Number 2, you watch the video, Manasseh asks the director of IT of SML, Mr. Director of IT, your equipment, he had a certain name, say Mohammed or something. When you watch the video, he's there. I mean, I saw it with my own eyes. He was asked, Mr. Director of IT, your equipment and the SML, the GRA and NP equipment, which are better. When I say the equipment, so we are talking about the flow meters that were used for some of the contracts. You know, the contracts are different. So I'm talking about this one, measuring the quantum of oil in the tank farms, the petroleum. So they had to measure at every point. So the equipment for measuring flow meters, they asked him, SML equipment and GRA and MP equipment, which are better. He himself, SML director, he says GRA and MP equipment are better. They asked the GRA officers, do you use SML data in your calculations and Excel? They said, no, we don't use the SML data. So you see that when the report necessary, etc., you find that is the reason they were not using the SML data. Nobody was using that SML data. Christian Soti said they don't even have they don't do transaction audit. Okay? They don't do external price verification. Those things, they say they don't do it. MD, what are you talking about? What's the lawyer saying? Was he present? He's been given a script to read. Of course, well, he should read, but certain things, before you do them, you have to do due diligence. It's not anything that if your client says, come and say, you will say. I'm challenging him. When KPMG came out, why didn't SML come out to say that their equipment functions from day one? And even when this OSP report came out, why didn't they should, it's not about press conference. They should have shown, look, I'm thinking that on the day you are deploying equipment worth millions of dollars, etc., you will have a video. They should bring a video of the day they install their equipment. You know, when you install, you will be commissioning, and then you can show how their equipment read rightly. That's the flow meters, etc., and how these things help GRA. You know, in the report, both SML and even the OSP report says that when KPMG were doing their report, the part where they said SML may have helped a bit in the in terms of verifying the quantum of oil that we use every month, they didn't mention how annual growth in population and demand also leads to increased consumption.
So Mr. Babu, you're saying that their statement calling for that reconsideration of the termination is neither here nor there. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Right. And the company is accusing the Office of the Special Prosecutor of spreading falsehood. Now, do you think that the OSP indeed overstepped it in its findings, or were its conclusions on firm legal and ethical grounds?
Yes, I think so, as far as what we have is concerned. Because, look, let's go here. Look, the parts that are verified, I want to do the parts of the OSC report that are verifiable. They say there is email correspondence showing that 2020 still couldn't plug on. They couldn't plug into the system. Okay, the external price verification, etc. That's the things system to another part of the contract. The part that has to do the transaction audit. When we say transaction audit, so that is the imports. So Blues auditing the imports to see that are they under invoicing or over invoicing or doing misclassification, etc. That part of the contract, you will see how July, August, September, right, 2020 and 2019 actually, you see how SML had not been able to plug in. They hadn't plugged in. And Oforiatta said they should be paid. So these are emails. So I'm talking about the part that today we can produce, the special prosecutor can produce the emails. SML is complaining, whining and whining. Oh, we are not able to plug in. West Blue, can you help us, etc. Issuing threats to West Blue, all of them. So those are documents. What did the lawyers say about those specific ones?
Well, they're arguing that it's their services helped plug the revenue leakages in the petroleum and then mineral sectors. If that's true, why do you still believe that the deal was not in the country's best interest?
So the reason I believe the lawyer is just reading a script is that I'll challenge him with Manasseh's documentary. Let's go there. Simply, their own MD. MD says, Manasseh, this transaction or this things you are saying, please, I don't know anything about them. MDO, he's running the company. He's in the saddle. He says, no, we don't do this. And so the daily graphic publication is false. They ask the director of IT. He says, oh, GRA and MPA equipment are better. So they are using them. So what's the lawyer saying? That's a key thing. He should be given the Manasseh documentary. Thank God it's not audio where somebody can say my voice has been doctored. This one is audiovisual. You will see the man's face. You will see his face. You see Christian Soti talking. You see the director of IT talking. That's the end of the matter. You see the GRA people talking. That's the end of the matter. So 1,000 scripts can be read at a press conference. That's not the answer. Look, the thing even shows that before SML is paid money, there should be a report so that the report has to be verified of work done. They never did that. And Ken Oforiatta said they should be paid because Ken Oforiatta was benefiting. Evans Siduce is his boy. So you see how they were stealing money from the state. And then what's the lawyer saying? What's the lawyer saying?
Well, Mr. Pebu, before you go, we know that the SML is now appealing to the president to reverse that termination. What do you advise government to do? Maintain its position or reopen discussions on this particular contract?
No, it's obvious the president will not even mind them. They are just putting a brave face on it. That's like their charm offensive. It's some bravado. The situation is stinking. By now, they should be pleading and asking for a plea bargain. That's it. This type of thing that the record will be there. How are they going to undo the emails? The letters they themselves wrote. You wrote letters. Please plug us in. Please plug us in. You had not yet been plugged in because you couldn't plug in, and you were collecting
arrangements
money.
Between Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, Revenue Authority.
No work, you've been paid. So those are emails. That's what the lawyer should be able to answer. You see the meetings Oforiatta attended and said, and wrote to controller, pay. Controller, pay, notwithstanding that SML has not worked. Those are the emails. Those are the letters we are talking about, the verifiable part. So he should stop the speeches and deal with the specific documents that are mentioned in there. Look at another one. Kofi Nti signed the SML contract extension on the 3rd of October 2019. When Kofi Nti was not head of GRA, he had retired on 1st of October 2019. He had retired and came back into the office 2 days later as a private citizen and came to sign the letter. It's like Beatrice Edu, you are no longer working at TV3. You've gone home. 2 days later, you come and dress up and then you're on radio talking. Who has asked you to talk when you've retired or you've resigned and gone? You see all the illegalities. Who is going to defend this? Why didn't the lawyer talk about why Kofi Nti came back into that GRA office to sign the letter 2 days after he had resigned? Why? Why didn't he answer? So he should answer the specifics. Kofi Nti, on what authority did Kofi Nti, as a private citizen, come back to sign a letter for GRA 2 days after he had retired on that authority.
Mr. Baby,
the things he should be talking about.
People, many thanks for your time. Unfortunately, this is all time would allow us for tonight. We'll definitely keep up on this particular subject in a subsequent bulletins. We're going to move on to another very interesting topic because the National Security Operatives have stopped a group of scrap dealers from scavenging railway materials at the Takoradi Port. One of the scrap dealers, Alhaji Razak, claims that a committee comprising some National Party actors and constituency chairmen from the second Takoradi Metropolis and the Efia Kwesiminti municipality of the Western region sold out these materials to them at 33,000 Ghana cedis per 100 tons. Well, this comes barely a month after illegal gold miners vandalized the Takoradi and Suta railway line. Let's now speak with our correspondent, Abraham Mensah. Abraham, good evening. Now, what more can you tell us about this confrontation between the National Security Operatives and scrap dealers at the Takoradi Port?
So, Mr. Alhaji Razak and his team were at the site, apparently an old railway shed within the Takoradi Port enclave. They were just about, or even in the process of cutting some scraps of railway wagons and rails at the section, only to be interrupted by the National Security Operatives in the area that they do not have the authorization to proceed with that work. From the account from Alhaji Razak, they've actually made payments to some group of regional constituency chairmen and other national party executives, an amount of 330,000 Ghana cedis to give them the right to scavenge 100 tons of metal from the site. So it was surprising to them that they would be called to stop the operations because they felt they have the green light to proceed. From his account, they've had a meeting last Monday, processed that payment, and were hoping to start the operations on Tuesday, only to be informed that they had to hold on a while for some documentation to be completed before they could start the operations. Wednesday, they started, and then they were instructed further to put on hold the operations. And to them, they couldn't wait any further because they felt it was a hot deal and they had to be smart about it. So while they were cutting these crafts, the National Security Operatives came in. As to who Alhaji Razak paid this amount to, he mentioned one constituency chairman for Efia, the name Chairman Seidu, as the recipient of the 330,000 Ghana cedis for his part of the deal. This is a group of 10 separate groups that were engaged by these constituency, allegedly by these constituency chairmen and some other national executives from Accra in this kind of a deal. We've not had any word sayings from the constituency chairman who's been named, nor from the other constituency chairman. But what we've gathered is that there seems to be a bit of some disagreement and a bitter feel around this whole transaction, particularly from Takoradi constituency, because they claim not to have heard about this deal and were not included in such a transaction. And have there been any arrests or injuries during that operation? Funny enough, there's not been any arrests. They were only stopped from operating. They had the apparatus at the site, the whole team cutting bits and pieces of the old railway wagons and the rails, hoping to package them for the shipment. And I mean, you said that you've not heard any word from some of these authorities. There's no explanation whatsoever on the action so far. Any other authorities speaking on the matter? No, none has made any pronouncement yet. So we're still following up with this allegation from the part of Chairman Seidu. But what surprises us is that there was no arrest. They were only instructed to stop from cutting those scraps, with the explanation that where they were assigned to scavenge is in that area. Right. Now, the scrap dealers allege that some local political figures and constituency executives were behind the sale of these railway materials. What are you hearing from the national security or regional officials about these claims? So we've made a couple of calls to regional executives and to the constituency. None has responded yet. So if I would mention, Alhaji Razak has mentioned Efia Sekendi Escado Ketan and then Kwesimintim constituency chairman as part of the group that met them a couple of weeks ago, proposing to have that kind of an offer of 330,000 payment upfront for them to cut 100 tons of metal from the old railway, shed.
Right, many thanks for your time. I've been speaking to Abraham Mensah, correspondent, on the issue of some national security operatives that have stopped a group of scrap dealers from scavenging railway materials at the Takoradi Port. We're going to do some more stories now, and government has confirmed the ongoing search for strategic investors for 3 hotels owned by the Social Security and National Insurance Trust SNIT. The Deputy Minister of Finance, Thomas Nyako Ampim, says the decision by SNIT's management to engage potential investors will be thoroughly scrutinized to ensure it serves the best interests of contributors. A management of SNIT told Parliament's Public Accounts Committee that the trust is seeking investors for the La Palm Royal Beach, Almina Beach Resort and Buzia Beach Resort, all of which are struggling to remain profitable. This comes after a public uproar greeted an earlier attempt by SNIT to sell its stake in some of its hotels, a move critics feared could lead to political interference and undervaluation of state assets. Now, first listen to the General Director of SNIT, Kwesi Afrebainu, who explains the current state of these 3 hotels. I'll go for a short commercial break. We'll be back with that sound. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're still listening to Hot Edition right here on 3FM 92.7. We're going to do some more stories, and residents of Hwidiem in the Ahafo region have begun fleeing the town following last Saturday's mob attack on members of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operators Secretariat, NAIMOS. Well, information reaching 3FM indicates that some parents have even given money to their children to temporarily leave the town, with plans to return after a month over fears that the military may retaliate in response to the attack. Well, tensions fled in Hwidiem on Saturday, November 1, when the director of operations of NAIMOS and his team were allegedly attacked by a mob during an anti-illegal mining operation. Let's get on the phone lines now and speak to Bawa Sani Mohammed, who's a spokesperson for the concerned youth of Hwidiem. He's joining us with more details. Good evening, sir. Now, we understand you held a press conference earlier today. What was the main purpose of that engagement?
Good evening to you and your church, US.
Good evening.
Good evening to your listeners.
Good evening. We're asking basically what was the main purpose of the press conference that was held today by you and your team?
Oh, okay. We thank all the media men who came to support us. Please, our main issue is that we wake up suddenly on last Saturday and had a news circulating around that Hwidiem youth has vandalized and causes harm to the NAIMOS at a certain site. So people were doubting, like, those who were captured in the videos and the pictures, none of them is a Hwidiem native. None of them. We don't know them. And besides that, the place in which the incident happened, it happens at the police station, not at that site. That site is never a Galamsey site. It's someone's plot of land. Somebody uses some of the Galamsey's sand to manufacture other things. So that's the company of that one that they were vandalized, not Hwidiem youth.
So you are saying that those who attacked are not a part of the Hwidiem youth, they are not part of the community, they are outsiders.
None of them.
And you cannot identify any of these men who attacked?
Like we were sure that the media and all the investigative executives that we are ready to give them any information regarding this issue, because we want to clear ourselves. So we are on grounds. There are some legal procedures to know what happens and what brought all this. In order to maintain peace here, we are living in a rumble style. We are not happy because whenever we wake up, we get an alarm that the soldiers will come after us.
And this alarm you are talking about, we've heard your people are fleeing from the community. Is this based on proper intel? Have you been told prior to this press conference or picked up information that suggesting that the military intends to attack your town?
Please, madam, you know something? Even that Zongo chief is at a Hwidiem. So if it is Hwidiem people who did that, so you can't tell me that it is the people that break down our own chief's car. No, we can't do that. Although the wreck is at Hwidiem land, at Bonukrum, not in Hwidiem. All these cases happen at the police station, not even that site. It happened at in front of the police station. People were there. People were captured everything. They saw what is going on. So we are pleading with you that Hwidiem people will never. Hwidiem Youth Association, we have come out and said that none of the incidents happening is a Hwidiem member.
And have you received any form of assurances from security agencies or local authorities since the incident happened?
Now we have started engaging because we are doing underground investigation. So roughly 2 to a week's time, everything will prevail and people will get to know what exactly happened. But like sometimes your colleagues, the way they do their captions, sometimes causes fear and panic. Sometimes the headlines, it curses on like Hwidiem youth have vandalized. The NAIMOS, the government has sponsored on it and trying to keep our surroundings and maintain our green land. We cannot fight with them. We will never. Please, we are cool with everybody. Hwidiem is not a violent town. So please, help us and let's send this news out that Hwidiem people hands are out of this issue, please. Even that owner of the site, she's not from Hwidiem.
And lastly, before you go, if you could just paint us a picture of how residents are coping now and what is being done to restore calm and confidence in your community.
People are running, people are moving around, people are traveling because they know the soldiers will come for revenge. They know soldiers will come. Every day we have news that when we are asleep, wake up, the soldiers are coming. So people are living in fear. People are running. Please help us and let's maintain it. Because Hwidiem town, we have nothing to do with those kind of things. We don't do Galamsey here. We don't do Galamsey in our land. Like ask your sister station. We don't do Galamsey. We don't do Galamsey. So please, it was forced. It is never MP or who came there to like encourage the guys to do that. No, the MP cannot do that. As a member of parliament, who have been elected, the people is at heart. So whenever there's an incident, he can go there and ask, am I lying, sister? These police people said, I see and tell or what. These are police people who said that.
Well, many thanks for your time. I've been speaking with Bawa Sani Mohammed, who is a spokesperson for the Concerned Youth of Hwidiem earlier today. They had conducted a press conference and they are denying the involvement of Hwidiem youth in that NAIMOS attack on November 1. We're going to do some more stories, staying still on the issue of Galamsey attacks, because just yesterday, you recall that some illegal miners attacked a joint EPA task force and journalists near Obuasi, resulting in a serious road accident that injured several people, including Channel 1 TV journalists. Well, the chief executive officer of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Professor Nana Ama Brown Kluche, has been recounting the incident and how her team narrowly escaped the attack. Listen to her.
Kojo from Joy cameraman, Joy TV cameraman, and Abubakar is fairly okay. He was also involved. That's your reporter. He's fairly okay. Then we have Channel 1 TV, Doris, also a reporter from Ashanti region. She's also in not so critical a situation, but she's not okay. Let me put it that way. Okay. She's responding to treatment, and the many others. So we have 8 people who are victims of this, and they are all responding to treatment. Okay. The most critical one is the Joy TV, the cameraman, who has a broken thigh bone, and he's been attended to as we speak.
We wish them speedy recovery. But Prof, can you give us an account of exactly what happened?
Okay, thank you. So EPA, we plan a 3-week operation to deal with the shops that actually provide services for illegal mining activities, and especially the mining in our water bodies. So yesterday we took over the shops at Arian Kwanta stretch, where we seized some equipment and other items, and we closed down the shops that provide services or sale of champagne engine machines and water pumps and water hose and those mats that they use to capture the gold. So 2 reasons. These shops are to be permitted by EPA. So most of them have the EPA permit to operate the warehouse that they sell from. But what they declare to be selling per our documentation that they have are spare parts of cars and caterpillars. So in their shop were water pumps, which we all know that these are not spare parts of caterpillars. The champagne engines are not spare part of caterpillars, so they violate EPA's permitting condition. So we could close them down based on that. Aside that, these champagne machines and other products that they are selling are also the same products that support the illegal mining, and especially in our water bodies. So we stood on that and closed down most of the shops we could have access to. We started the operation at 8 a.m. We took a break at 4:30 p.m. Yesterday, we were able to close 19 shops based on this principle. Today, we took another stretch. So on our way, we saw an illegal mining activity going on in a particular site along the Adanse, Obuasi area. So we stopped. We were having the national security with us. So we stopped to check the site.
And I brought you the main conversations for today right here on 3FM 92.7's Hot Edition. We're going to stay on right here because Business News with Bismarck Ewusa is up next. Do stay with us.
number you dial in emergencies. Who you go call when things get tough?
of coordination, transparent and data-driven spatial planning can leave room for uncertainty, overlapping claims, and inefficiency in land and natural resources management. That is why all stakeholders in the room must work together to coordinate the spatial, economic, social, and environmental development of Ghana.
And that was a report by my colleague, Michael Obodu. Now, the Tree Crops Development Authority has inaugurated a 5-member audit committee to promote transparency, accountability, and financial discipline within the institution. Their role is to ensure strict compliance with procurement and financial management reforms.
The committee is chaired by Eric Osefi of the Internal Audit Agency, IAA. They were sworn into office by the Acting Director General of the IAA, Thomas Ni Ashali Thompson I, who urged them to ensure strict compliance with procurement and financial management reforms.
PPA Act was amended and in its Schedule 24A was inserted. That schedule is to bring on board all public institutions that are procuring goods above the threshold of their ETC. It requires that to seek what we call commitment authorization from the Ministry of Finance. If you're also doing single source or restrictive tendering, of which the PPA board will approve, you must also go in for what we call commitment authorization.
Chief Executive Officer of TCDA, Dr. Andy Osei Okra, described the inauguration as a significant milestone in the authority's commitment to sound financial governance.
Together, we are building a tree crop development authority that stands as a model for effective financial management and public accountabilities. Let us all work together to ensure that every resource entrusted to TCDA contributes directly to national prosperity through increased export revenue, rural industrialization, and improved farmer livelihood.
And that will be all for the business segment on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7 with me, Bismarck. Also, for more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. Andrew Sefa is on standby for sports news segment. Please stay.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7 with me, Andrew Sefa Bamfo. We start off from the Ghana Premier League, where the two biggest clubs in the division, that is Asante Kotoko and Accra Hearts of Oak, will renew their rivalry at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday. Both sides are unbeaten and will be looking to secure maximum points over the weekend. Now, ahead of the game, Hearts of Oak head coach Judith Brown Nurah has urged fans of the club to come out in their numbers to cheer the team on.
They are our super strength that we have always, and they know we acknowledge what they bring and we recognize what they do and what they have done over these years. This is the moment to continuously be positive behind the team and be more relevant, and they should just support the team and then support us from the beginning of the game to the end. It's going to be a long game that every minute counts, and so we want them to be there from the beginning to the end. Phobia.
So that was Hearts of Oak head coach Judith Brown Nurah speaking ahead of the Super Clash. Meanwhile, Asante Kotoko head coach Karim Zito has expressed confidence in his side to secure a victory against Hearts of Oak. Kotoko have 3 wins in their last 5 outings against the Phobians and will be banking their hopes on their impressive start to the season to seal a victory.
Hearts of Oak and Kotoko, everybody knows how the game is. It is one of the best and one of the most difficult game of between the two. So everybody wants to win, just as we are going there with the mindset of winning. So it's like you plan against the best side of your opponent, and they capitalize on the weaker side. So this is what we are doing in short to meet Asafo.
And so that was Kumasi Asante Kotoko head coach Karim Zito speaking. Let's finish off in the English Premier League, where Manchester United are set to take on Spurs in Saturday's lunchtime kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The Red Devils have turned a corner in their last 4 games, winning 3 and drawing 1. The recent results have put Manchester United, who have 17 points, just 1 point behind 4th place Sunderland. Head coach of Manchester United, Ruben Amorim, says his side are more confident following a slow start to the season.
I think, again, I think we are more confident. We believe more that we can win any game, and we prove already that we can win any game. The last game was tough on us because in some moments we were not the team that we're supposed to be. In every minute, and compare that to Brighton, and we suffered 2 goals against Brighton, but was a different thing. So we know that we cannot forget that we have a lot to improve. We are more prepared for anything that happened in the game, so that is also a good thing. So we are in the better moment, but we also know that we have a lot to do, a lot to improve.
So that was Manchester United head coach Ruben Amorim speaking, bringing an end to the sports segment here on Hot Edition on 3FM and also Hot Edition. Join us same time next week for more updates.